Alright. This is not my typical video. But it had occurred to me last night. Slash this morning, I don't really remember, I was half asleep. But, I was watching one of them YouTube videos, just one of them YouTube videos. And it had occurred to me, how everyone's been crowing on and on about this crap with Group 7? Well, I kept getting shifted groups myself. People kept, I got different readings, different things. People kept saying I was in a different group. So I finally decided to do some investigating myself. Now, one video that I chose to believe was more credible actually told me it phrased it as a frequency. I'm like, wait, hold on. I haven't heard anyone say that yet. So it's not Group 7, it's Frequency 7, okay? Well, it triggered something. I was thinking about it. I was like, I swear to God, I heard this somewhere. It's your life path. Or AKA, I believe it's the assignment for next year. I know this sounds a little crazy. I can't really talk too much about it. But the reason I believe is because a while ago I bought this metaphysical book called Psychic Sight. Honestly, I just wanted to learn how to read auras and see auras, which I actually can do now, surprisingly. But in the very back, there's actually an index. Well, please don't light this book on fire. Can't really show it to you, but Life Path 1, Life Path 2, Life Path 3, aka Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, Group 4, Group 5, Group 6, Group 7, Group 8, Group 9, 10, and then for some reason it actually skips 10, then goes to 11, 22, and 33. Now I can actually believe you can move up, quote-unquote, the ranks. And I'm actually going to go through and read what they say. 1. Leader, boss, captain who opens doors and paves way. 2. Peacemaker, intervener. What? Intervener? Duh, words. Mediator and a diplomat. 3. A communicator and an expresser. 4. A teacher and a builder. 5. Freedom, change, seeker, adventurer. 6. Caretaker, nurturer, provider, manager. 7. Seeker, searcher of truth, the thinker, the introvert, and the loner. 8. Powerhouse and spiritor, dynamic force and a wrecking ball. 9. Humanitarian. 11. Master intuitive. 22. Master builder. 33. Master teacher. Now I have, which actually, excuse me. Oh, that was weird. My throat chakra just opened. That was weird. Kind of feel like throwing up, but whatever. So I was told you can actually be in multiple groups, which actually does make sense. At first I was told Group 7. Seeker, searcher of the truth, the thinker, the introvert. However, my personal belief is I shifted out of that group. It was because my frequency, as I said earlier, has changed. I'm not going to tell you what my path is now, but, duly noted, your number can change. However, if you choose to embrace the number, that's fine, because we need it. We need caretakers. We need peacemakers. We need communicators. Holy crap, give me a second. Sorry guys, that was rather unpleasant. So I'm gonna move the topic to a book I read called Atlas Shrugged. Oh, y'all are gonna think I'm fucking crazy. Alright. So next year, there is a big shift in reality. I can't give too much details. I can't go ruining the plan. But, next year is essentially the end of it. This year is the year of the snake. And symbolically, at the end of the year, the snake sheds its skin. And a new cycle begins in the year. And then we actually switch to a different year of a horse. Now, next year, things are going to be quite different. And if you're getting a number, I know this sounds absolutely chaotic and crazy, but that could very well be your job or your mission next year. Atlas Shrugged is a book. Surprise, surprise. God. I'm going to try to summarize it because it's an extremely long book and it took me 3 months to read it. It's actually a novel, and if anyone knows what that is, it is over 1,000 pages. Well over 1,000. It took me 3 months, 5-hour sessions to read it, like no joke. Almost every day I would sit up at Starbucks for 3 to 5 hours and just read it. But basically, what it was a book about a mystery man named John Galt. And at first he was a legend. Nobody knew he existed. There was just a theory that this man once stood up, was courageous enough, and said, F you system, I'm not doing this anymore. We're done. F you, F your system, F your games, this is all just bull crap. I'm done. He literally got up and did that right in front of an entire company who was pulling shit like they were just screwing over their employees. So he literally gets up on stage and says, screw you, screw this is bullshit, bye. And he just disappeared. And everyone's like, holy crap, who is that man? Well, then it became a distant memory. Nobody knows who he is. It became a legend. The phrase is, who is John Galt? And it became almost like an iconic symbol. Anytime you had a puzzle you couldn't solve, they're just like, oh yeah, who's John Galt? It's like, what's the answer to the universe? Who's John Galt? You know, just kind of became like a trend. Well, you find out he, surprise, surprise, really existed. What he was doing was he was actually scouting intelligence. He was finding people who were geniuses and that were being wasted on society as today. Society, poop. They're using their genius to ruin and run a messed up game. So he pulled all these people forward and said, hey man, you're way too smart to be doing this. Like, way too smart. What if you could do more? What if there's room for growth? You're already playing this game at max capacity. Would you like to play a new game? So he gathered up all of these really intelligent people. Like, every single one of them was a genius, no matter what they did. Like, even their plumber was an effing genius. But that's because they went and hand-selected them and said, this, guess what? Your group, 6. And even though, maybe you were an electrician in your last life, quote-unquote life, this round, you can use those electrical skills to help with plumbing. Because I would like you to apply the knowledge you have to the job you're given. And I know people are like, well, what the hell do you mean? I'm like a plumber now? Well, that's because you're a genius. And we need someone to advance that technology. And you're the person to do it. So nobody actually had any qualms with the jobs they were assigned. They're like, you know what? You're right. You give me this job and I'll do it. Let's do it. And I'll use my brains and my talents to improve it. And genuinely love it. Excuse me. So, what happened was it was actually following a main lady. I can't remember her name. Taggart, something like that. She ran a train company. And her brother was a piece of shit. And they ran the company together, but she basically ran the company. He just was the face. So, of course, this guy comes down and tracks her down and says, hey, you're way too smart. I'm stealing you. Let's go. So they find this secret society that he made of all the geniuses. And they're like, okay, so what's the point? What are you doing here? If you guys are all super smart, let's go out and fix the fucking world. And he goes, nope. That world needs to burn. She's like, what? It's like, it's a broken game. They want me to fix the game, but they aren't willing to do the things they need to do to fix it. Like, they actually pulled me aside and asked me, hey, how do we fix the economy? Well, you gotta cut taxes. We can't do that. What do you mean you can't do that? Well, that's impossible. Okay, well, I'm giving you solutions and you're not wanting them. What you want is to fix your broken-ass game. Well, guess what? It's broken. It's not gonna work. So, we'll try again when your game finish breaks. They're like, whoa. He's like, no. Your game has to burn to the ground. It's plain and simple. It's not going to work, it is not sufficient, and it is finally at that point that the game is falling apart. You cannot continue, and I will not save you. So at that point, they all disappeared. They all hid off in the mountains and just kind of disappeared. The book goes on for, in the book, of course, a couple of more years as society begins to fall and break apart, and you see how, after the fall, basically you see what happens. It gets to the point people literally just like desert their jobs. One of the guys who had to take care of the trains, it was Miss Taggart's assistant, ended up having to take her place when she disappeared. He literally got off the train. He's like, our train got stuck. They're not sending anyone to help. They can't get it to move forward, and when I try to call anyone, everyone quit. So he's literally like, you know what? F this, I'm done too. And he literally just walked off the train in the middle of the desert. Like, no joke. So after a couple of years, society collapsed. Their game had failed. John Galt comes back out and goes, hey look, everything's been burnt to the ground. Let's go back and rebuild now. Because now it's fresh. Now it's, fresh ground. Let's plant these trees and try again. Because unfortunately, sometimes destruction is necessary. So, that's what this is about. You can believe whatever the hell you want. When these messages started coming out, the government freaked out and tried to make it look like a trend. Oh, it's this new trend. Because whenever I actually tried to inquire, go figure, the more and more I asked questions, the further and further from an answer I got. Every single person has a different opinion about it, and that's fine. I'm not saying my opinion's right. I'm just saying that's what I believe. So, if this helped, if it resonated, whatever, cool. Hopefully you learned something today. If not, just scroll past and keep on going. You have a great rest of your day. Hey, go out. Thank you.